Watch your judgments. Epictetus encourages us to pay close attention to our thoughts and the judgments we make, especially about the world around us. He reminds us that anxiety doesn't arise from events themselves, but from how we interpret those events. Each person sees life through their own lens, shaped by beliefs about what's acceptable or unacceptable. That's a natural part of being human. It helps us form moral perspectives. But problems arise when our judgments create unrealistic expectations or a false sense of entitlement. For example, we might carry anger for years because we believe we were entitled to loving, supportive parents, but didn't get them. Epictetus challenges this mindset. He says we have the right to have parents, but not to dictate how they behave or what kind of people they are. This perspective applies broadly. It pushes us to ask, why do we get upset about things that are entirely natural? In Epictetus's words, distinguish in your own mind and be ready to say, it's not the event that troubles this person, but the judgment they attach to it, because another person might see the same event and not be troubled at all. This way of thinking is especially powerful in hard times, whether we're going through a breakup, dealing with job loss, or feeling neglected by family. When we step back and look at things objectively, without being clouded by emotions or expectations, we gain the clarity to respond with reason. This protects us from being controlled by irrational thoughts and emotional turbulence. And when we stop obsessing over what's out of our control, we naturally start focusing more on what we can change. That shift leads us to the next key Stoic idea. Focus less on what's beyond your control. At the very start of Epictetus's Enchiridion, or handbook, we find one of Stoicism's core ideas, the dichotomy of control. This principle teaches that some things are up to us and others are not. Our job is to focus our energy on the former and let go of the latter. As social beings, it's common for us to try to shape the world around us using tools like money, influence, power, intelligence, or even charm. But Epictetus reminds us that, at best, these are tools, not guarantees of control. Even when we manage to control a few things, there will always be countless others that remain far beyond our grasp. What we do control, and what truly matters, is our own mind, our thoughts, our choices, our responses. That's where we should focus our energy. It's not so much about what happens to us, but about how we respond to it. Instead of constantly stressing over things we can't change, we can turn inward, developing self-awareness and emotional discipline. That doesn't mean isolating ourselves from the world. In fact, the Stoics were deeply engaged in life and community. Rather, Stoicism teaches us to develop a kind of healthy detachment from external outcomes. This detachment helps us navigate life without constant stress, without being emotionally shaken by every twist of fate. This leads us to a beautiful Stoic concept, amor fati, the love of fate. It means learning to embrace what happens, not just with acceptance, but with gratitude. Even when things don't go our way, we trust that every event is part of a greater unfolding. The bottom line, when we center our efforts on what we can control, our own mindset, we build resilience and peace. In a world full of uncertainty, that's a powerful way to live.